All right, all right, all right. Thank you, everyone. And for those who are going to be tuning in there, thank you for that as well. Today we got Billie Groom. And yes, we are bringing on another amazing presenter. And so, yeah, she's here. We're about to make this thing happen. And like I said, we've been talking before, talking a whole lot of stuff, and this is what happens when we get together, you guys, and as always, thank you for allowing us to support you. And we are looking forward to see you at this year's second annual Global Grief Conference 2023. Billie Groom, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tony. How are you? Yeah,
I
we
am
always just chat away.
these things happen. These things do happen, and I love it because having someone that speaks the same language as us, and you're bringing something to the table that we haven't had up here, that we didn't have up here last year. So I'm excited. I am really, really excited.
Well,
So
I'm honored to be a part of it.
yeah, yeah, and so tell people about the work. Tell people a little bit about the work that you do.
Well, it's been a 3-decade journey, but in a nutshell, what I do is I work with people, but I work with people who have dogs that most of them, they're over 6 months of age. Most of them have been traumatized or have an unconventional upbringing. Not all of them. Some of them have come straight from a good home, but they have behavioral issues that can lead to surrender, euthanasia, or even abuse.
Mhm.
And they've experienced abuse in their past, a lot of them. And so what's happening is that people are uncertain as to how to address these issues because conventional methods, which are conditioning,
Mhm.
are proving to be ineffective in that age group, in that 6 months to, in particular, 6 months to 24 months, but it can go into adulthood as well. So I use cognitive behavioral therapy and I work through it with my clients and we work through it. So they're not learning cognitive behavioral therapy for dogs, but they're learning how to apply it to reach their goals and to better communicate and understand their dog.
Okay. And to my knowledge, you're the first person to do this, right?
Yes, I'm the only person to do this. I have yeah, I'm an expert in canine cognitive behavioral therapy, and I'm sure a lot of people listening right now know what cognitive behavioral therapy is simply because of the it's a scientifically proven method, and it addresses behaviors that can be habit driven
Mhm.
or based on an experience in the past. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, addresses emotional intelligence. It respects emotional intelligence. So it understands that the behaviors that are happening are driven from cognitive skills and emotions, as opposed to the regular ones, at least in the dog training world, are conditioning. So they're great for puppies. They sort of teach right from wrong and good from bad, and they're reward based. Whereas this really dives into the gets the dogs and people to really understand where their thought patterns are coming from that's driving their behavior.
And a lot of times it can't, it's diverse because they do have cognitive thinking, skill building thinking for humans, right? So and we talked about this in the podcast, and I thought that I was just like, oh, okay, I get it. I really get it, man. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have you here at this year's conference. I really am. And so how did you get into this sort of work? Just a brief summary.
Yeah, brief a 3-decade brief summary. It's interesting. Well, when I actually learned how I got into this work a couple years ago
Mhm.
in my early 50s, which is interesting because I was told a story by a person that I didn't know, and it actually made my whole journey make sense. And I'm going to share that story at this conference
Okay.
because for me it was very enlightening. And I think that's a journey that everyone takes. It's why do you do what you do? Why is your passion and your mission? Why is something so important to us? And why are we just driven to do that? And this all made sense to me through this story. So and it takes me back to when I was 7, and I will say my parents were killed when I was 7. And what I didn't realize was the challenges that people have in knowing how to communicate and integrate and work with, or just even be with people who have had that experience. And somehow I took that over to dogs. People were and are uncomfortable. Can I bring this dog into my home? Will I be able to meet this dog's needs? Will I be able to understand and communicate with this dog?
Mhm.
And everyone wants the best for everybody, but they don't necessarily know how to do that. And I guess for some reason, I took it over to dogs because it became very important to me because I felt it myself. Yeah, I felt it myself where people just didn't, they weren't comfortable on how to relate. And that's where that story that I'm going to share really brings this all together. But so I never really intended to be a dog trainer. I intended to develop and create a method and a way of working with these dogs that allows the dogs to get past their trauma, anxiety, fear, aggression, and for us to be able to bring these dogs into our lives. And in doing so, I created a method that is grounded in cognitive behavioral therapy, which I learned later. I just love CBT. I resonate with it, and it worked for me. So it became just a journey that I'm now, only now, really completely understanding.
Okay, I like that. I definitely like that. Like I said, I've had you on the podcast, so if you guys haven't already, go check out her story on the podcast, but also check her out. She's doing some amazing stuff over there, especially you pet owners. The work that she's doing is by far top notch, top notch. Check
Thanks, Tony. That means a lot coming from you.
it out. You know,
I
it
know you're
really
a
is.
dog lover.
Yeah, I'm definitely, and I see your little one back there too. He's just looking like, I see what you're doing, mom.
Yeah, he's used to being on these. He's on because I do a lot of Zoom
Oh,
calls. I'm on. I have clients globally, all over the world. We do virtual training, and he's in almost all of them. He's from the streets of Mexico. I
okay,
got him when he was 6 months, along with his sister,
okay.
who I homed with a client. Yeah.
Oh man, that is, see, I love it. Like I said, I love it. I always love it, man. I love being able to just talk with you and be us around and have some fun,
Yeah.
laugh, because that's what we do anyway, right? We're like
Oh, yeah.
regular family over here,
Oh, yeah.
and so it's a great environment. Now, what excites you about this year's conference? I know this is your first time presenting.
Well, that right there excites me. I love speaking at different, not just uh, canine related events. I am on a lot of, obviously, I speak at a lot of canine and veterinarian and these type of events and animal behavior, but it's nice to get that well-rounded with different people that have come from different experience, have different knowledge, and have those all come together in one place and see how they really do connect and overlap and to learn from each other. I think some of the speakers have just done the most amazing things.
Yeah, right.
I'm really loving who I'm meeting for sure.
See, I love that. I love because for a lot of let's see, you're a first time presenter. We have some veterans in there, so I've known them since
Yeah.
last year, but it's new people like yourself that have come in and brought this element of excitement and awesomeness to this
Yeah.
conference. And that excites me too, because if anyone who's watching it feels the way that I do, in watching you guys, they're going to get a lot out of this. They're definitely going to get a lot out of this.
Yeah, and I think you've also brought in some other animal experts as well, some on
Yeah.
the emotional side or grieving loss of a pet or just relating to the pet and having the pet help us. There's so many ways that they all connect.
Yes, yes. And that's really exciting. I love the diversity in there.
Hmm.
But also I love the inclusion
Hmm.
that everyone offers, right? And
Hmm.
their different niches. Like you said, let's see, we have you, we have Michael.
Hmm.
I think there's two other people. I'm actually, I'm going to be talking with them soon. I'm not going to put them out there because, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been
Surprise
giving,
element.
yeah, well, they've been giving me a hard time. They've been giving me a hard time, and I've been trying to tell them. I've been called a brat so many times. I'm just like, okay, just remember when we do our lives. Oh yeah, when we do our one-on-ones,
Bring it on.
I'm bringing it. I'm going. Look, they want the smoke. I'm bringing all the smoke,
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, bring it
They
on.
don't even know. They have no idea. But then, I have a tendency. They have a tendency of getting me anyway. So
Oh
we
yeah.
can see how
Oh
all
yeah. You
this.
always got to be on. That's the greatest thing because these conversations can go anywhere. And
Oh
that is,
my God. People
yeah,
have no idea.
yeah.
I know people think about the work that we do and they think about the seriousness of it, right? But they don't understand. Like we're just like everyone else.
Oh yeah.
We just have a blast. So to be able to share you guys' personality with our
Yeah.
communities and things
It,
like
it
that,
is. It's
you
because
know,
when you're comfortable in your zone and you can talk about things and help people, it, and make it real. It is real. It's happening every day. So when I work with
exactly.
my clients, when they get a hold of me, they're often, very nervous, upset. They feel defeated. They don't know what to do. As soon
Right,
as we
right.
start working together, it just flows and goes, and it's great. And we're working together and back and forth and communication, and it's real life. And I'm often comparing to children or a work environment. It's like, oh yeah, exactly. It is not all heavy and serious, even though it's very important. Of course, it's
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
It's very important, and it's often, you know, affecting people's lives, their daily lives. But that doesn't mean we can't just relate and go with it and flow with it as we are as regular people with our own sense of humor and our own what we can bring to the table.
Yeah. And especially with our world and the state that is in today,
Yeah,
work that we do is very, very necessary. I believe that
yeah,
doing things like the conferences and the podcast, it puts us out there on the front lines where I feel that we belong,
yes,
because our communities need us to be able to give them what we have, in order to start the healing process, but understanding what that process looks like,
yeah,
for themselves, and having someone to help navigate that thing, because we've all been there. Most of us, I would say 98% of us, we've had to navigate this world alone. We didn't have anyone to come back and go, here, give me your hand. I'm going to walk with you, right? No, it wasn't like that. It was like, oh, you're going to have to figure this thing out. And going through the
so
motions,
true.
yeah, you have to go through the motions sometimes. And that's all it is. Sometimes you have to go through the motions and let it birth itself.
That is so true. Take the steps. And that is so interesting because that is what I love about CBT is it is a scientific method, and it does have a step process,
Mhm.
but that process adapts and changes and is creative as you go through it.
Yeah,
And it's individualized. It's different for everybody because the healing process is different
right.
for
Yeah,
everybody, right? And everybody's lifestyle is different, and everybody's goals are different, and everybody's experiences are different. So, yes, it stays in line with the formula, so to speak,
right.
but that is different for everybody, and that's so important.
I like that. I definitely like that.
Yeah.
And so tell people, what day are you going to be presenting on?
I am the first speaker on Saturday, April 29th. So that would be 6 a.m. Mountain, which is 8 a.m. Eastern.
Mhm.
So I'm nice and early for you.
Hey, it's a great way to start the day off.
There you go.
It's a
Yeah.
great way to start the day off, and for those out there that are listening, please save the date, April 28th, April 29th, and April 30th. That's when we
That's
start.
right.
It's going to be live. So, tune in, ask some questions, especially you guys out
Yeah.
there, well, your pet lovers out there, tune in, listen to
Yeah.
Billy, talk, ask her some questions about her technique that she uses, listen to her story. It's freaking amazing, right? And so
It's interesting.
yeah, it's more than interesting, right? Because you've taken the time to develop a technique not only to help animals, right? Help the people and their pets, but you given the pet owners something that they can take home and
Yeah.
use along the way with developing their animal's thought pattern.
Yeah. The
You know,
light bulb goes on, and
right.
it's a wonderful process and experience. And yeah, I'm gonna have some PowerPoint presentation in there,
Mhm.
and we'll dive right into some interesting topics. And I love question answers. So yes, feel free. For a living, I get questions barreled at me all day long. So I'm always interested in where people's thought patterns go as we work through the process. So yes, please join in and share with me your thoughts and questions.
I think that's going to be amazing. I really do. And, you know, for those who are going to be tuning in to your presentation, what can they expect to take away?
I think the ability to relate it to their own life and their own experiences and how they might view and perceive their surroundings and themselves.
Hmm.
Perception is so important, and how they can take that and use it to their benefit and help them understand why they feel the way they feel and think the way they think.
I like that. I definitely like that. And so if you had anything to tell our viewers out there right now, what would you tell them?
I think that your personal experiences are your own,
Mhm.
and how you work with those and use those to help yourself and those around you, what your strengths are, and how those can become part of you in a good way. And I think that's a journey I went through, and I help dogs and people go through that, and to take that and make it okay and good, and have people understand and appreciate that in you.
Love that. I definitely love that. And I know we talked about it. We talked about the presenters. And like I said, I'm always stoked because I get to listen to you guys' story. I get to see everything else. What excites you? What excites you about this year? I mean, yeah, what excites you about this year? I know we talked about this.
This year in general, or this year at the conference?
This year at the conference.
Yeah, I think just learning from other people and seeing what they're all about, because it can just go so many different directions.
This
I just love that. I love that. I love that it can just go so many different directions, and that it's fun and upbeat and inspiring and motivating. I think you're one of the most motivating people. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a story to share. And it's just so interesting to hear all those stories and to be able to relate to them, be
Yeah.
part of it, to be part of something, and to say, hey, we can all relate to each other. And if we can't, then it's interesting to say, wow, really?
Yeah.
That is surprising. That's good. I like to be surprised. I like to,
You know, do we like I said,
yeah.
it's gonna be amazing. I don't want to, I don't want to give people
I don't know.
I want like this is see, I'm looking at you, I'm just like you're the same way as me, like oh my God.
I don't want to say everything, but
Well, you don't want to say anything, but it's like I want to, right?
I want, yeah,
Because you don't want to give away everything else that's coming down the line.
right.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I just want to say something.
I,
I don't know how to feel. I'm like a kid in the candy store.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, like I get the goosebumps. I'm like, and then I have to stop and go, calm down, Tony, breathe. I'm like, no, I don't want to. So I have to argue with my other personality because my other
Yeah.
personality is very childish, very,
Yeah.
very childish, you know?
And we all can relate to that one. Yeah. No, it's great because people are just, they have the neatest stories.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I've really enjoyed meeting everybody. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it really is. And for those who did see the conference last year, we're doing things a little bit different. We're making it easy for you to register. So we got a QR code out there you guys can register with. We got the Facebook links, we got the LinkedIn links, and also the YouTube channel. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Brief Let's Talk About It podcast on YouTube. You can watch it there, hit the bell notification. That way you'll be notified anytime that we do an event or we got something else posted up. Never miss anything, that we have going on. So
Very well, just very well organized without being too organized. That's the perfect blend.
yeah, well, I didn't think it was going to be this organized. Like I said, bringing together a team and having the people behind the scenes that are putting these things together. Big shout out to the team. We're definitely once we bring them in, we're definitely going to make sure that we recognize those individuals that have put in so much work behind there, and make sure that they get the recognition that they deserve as well, because they've been working so hard.
That is such a good point, because when the behind the scenes is just a team that works together and has different skills, bring those different skills together, so the behind the scenes is working so smoothly, it allows the front of house to just flow in the direction it goes smoothly, and just work that way, where it doesn't have to be so step by step. It can go in different directions smoothly. And that, getting back to that again, is how I work with my clients, and how people communicate, and how ideas, and allow for individualism and creativity without it derailing, because there is a solidifying underlying way of allowing that to happen.
Oh yeah, it's real easy. It's
Yeah,
easy.
it becomes easy.
Yeah, it becomes easy if you're not paying attention to it. If you don't, I mean, I always tell people, come up with a game plan, and then come up with a second game plan, and then have backup plans for those game plans for just in case purposes, right? Because life sometimes happens. Life sometimes happens. So make sure that you cover every area that you need to, even if you don't need to. Just cover it.
Exactly. And that's what allows you to sleep at night.
I don't say, you know what? Well, I don't sleep.
I know. I'm not a sleep person. I have my 4 hours, and my brain starts going again. I'm wide awake and do things. And then if I'm lucky, get another couple hours, but that's a productive time. That's a productive time for me, because I do wake up with a clear brain, because I've had that 4 hours. But I think having those, what you were saying, those backup plans, and those, what I call, platform. If you have a solid platform that you're working off of, whether it's plan A, B, C, or D, however you term that, when you have that solid platform, you can always go back to it when things start to go astray, And I think that's what brings comfort to people.
Right.
Right. And so that's a lot of CBT, and we'll talk about that.
Like I said, we're giving people teasers right now. So it's like, don't say too much. Don't
I know.
Secrets, girl. If they want to, like I said, they can go check out the podcast and hear your full story. But we're gonna give them teasers, because if they haven't watched it yet, they'll be all right. They definitely gonna have to.
There you go.
If they watching this, they're going to go back and watch your interview, and so that's going to be freaking amazing, right? And so they're gonna be like, and if they're anything like me, like I said before, they're going to get goosebumps and stuff like that, and it's just going to be an amazing event, And for us to be privileged and honored to be able to do it for a second year, do it the second year is to me, that is. I didn't think it was going to go a second year.
Well, good for you. That's amazing. It's still in its infancy while it's growing. That's the best stage to be in. And like you said, you've adapted and changed, and made it better on some ways, and you live and learn and grow. And I think you're doing an amazing job, and I'm so honored to be a part of this. Excited and honored.
I'm excited to have you on board.
You're a cool dude to know, Tony.
Don't tell nobody. Give away
I
all
won't.
secrets, dude. I won't. Give away all my secrets. I'm telling you, I'm not again, like, don't listen to her. I have no. No, that's awesome. I love that. So where can people find you?
My website is www.upward, which is UPWARD, dogology, DOGOLOGY.com. Upward actually stands for Urban People with Adolescent and Rescued Dogs. It's actually an acronym. I'm an acronym freak. There's a little secret for you. I love acronyms. So Upward Dogology, but I'm also on LinkedIn, Billie Groom, and I'm on Twitter and Facebook. Facebook's Billie Groom. It's also Upward Dogology. I'm on all platforms. I'm on Instagram. I have my podcast, which is Dog Training Disrupted. Also on another podcast, I host a couple different shows on All About Animals Radio.
Uh-huh.
And my link tree is Upward Dogology, and that has the links to the presentations I've done. I've been featured in Psychology Today magazine and different shows that are either animal related or not. And those are all there. Yeah, it's I'm kind of hard not to find.
Coming from a place where I've spent majority of my life trying to avoid people, and I mean, I have, and then to see, to be out here and to be able to connect with you, because we connected on LinkedIn, through Michael.
Yeah.
And so Michael's been a blessing in my life. That's my brother from another mother. We was talking the other day, and we was just talking about life in general. And yeah, it's just been amazing, man. The people I've met,
yeah, he's great. He and I are chatting after this, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, because he's doing a project and he wants my input on it. And it's like, Michael, you want input on a project that it can only be good, right? It can only be fun and good. It's already going to be good.
Yeah. I think the same thing. I think the same project that he's talking to you about. But we ain't gonna talk about it up here. We ain't gonna put
we'll let him get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into
you can't steal Michael's.
So wow, man, I am so excited to have you here this year. I really am. I love your personality. I love your smile. I love all of that. I am excited.
You bring out the best in people. It's awesome.
I definitely appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Of course. And for those who are tuning in, go check out Billie. Go to and get to know her the way that I have. Well, yeah, get to know her personality, her smile. She's a very intelligent individual, and check out her podcast as well. Check out her podcast because she has a lot of great information, a lot of great interviews, and she's bringing something to the table that honestly I didn't even think about. So being in this field, for her to bring something to me and go whoa and blow my mind, oh yeah, you guys are going to be freaking amazed. You're going to be amazed. And for those who are tuning in and that will be listening to this, thank you for allowing us to support you. Thank you for allowing us to bring another year of the Global Grief Conference to you. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of your healing journey as well. And with that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. We love you. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys at the conference. And so, Billie, thank you for being on. Thank you for coming in and sharing what you're going to be doing at this year's conference. I think it's amazing.
Thanks again, Tony, and thanks to all your listeners and supporters.
And with that being said, you guys, we love you. Thank you for the support, and we are out.